Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Nadia Adam. I'm a Vedic Astrologer and Psychic Medium. So today we are going to talk about the quick energy update between 13th of June till 20th of June, which means in the next 1 week. So as usual, I will divide my explanation into several parts and the timestamp will be in the description box along with my personal details if you are interested to book a personal reading with me. So this week seems like there are many things going on. At the same time, nothing much going on, if that makes sense. So the focus on the vocal point where you might feel the intensity will be on weekend, which is between 18th of June until 20th of June, all right? Because at this period, you will see Saturn will move retrograde, and then we're going to have a new moon in the sign of Gemini. So Saturn, it moves retrograde between 18th of June of 2023 until 4th of November 2023. It will be retrograding from the sign of Aquarius, looking to the sign of Capricorn, but does not affect the sign of Capricorn. That means Saturn won't enter Capricorn during the current retrograde, right? Because if you notice, Saturn is already around mid of the Aquarius, all right? So it's not going backward to a Capricorn, but for sure, because the planet, what is retrograde? Let us start from the beginning here. What is retrogression? So retrograde means when the planet it's stationed in its place. That means the orb or the movement of the degree will start to get slower. Doesn't mean that it's stopping the sky does not move. It moves, but it gets slower than usual. Right. So imagine yourself or imagine Saturn right now. It's looking back. What is the back of Saturn? We have Capricorn. So that's mean Saturn as if it's reminiscing and starting to dig deeper or kind of asking you, requesting you to restructure, looking back to your past, which is between November of 2020 until January of 2023, what exactly happened? What exactly you have done during this period? All right. Saturn looking backward on Capricorn, which means usually it means that the person already, let's say, for example, in last 2-3 years in our life, we changed many things, right? Let's say we got married, we changed our job, we changed our home, we do this, we do that. Now, Saturn looking back, it's asking you and requesting you like, hey, have you done it in the proper way? Hey, have you done it in the way how you're supposed to do it? Or it's supposed to be done. Saturn here reminding us of our past. So that means you will notice in upcoming 3 months that past energy will start to show up again. Let's say, for example, in last 2 to 3 years from now, you left someone or you get into divorce or you break up or some sort of business, you just shut it down. All right. Or you started actually, or you got married during this period. Somehow Saturn now will look back and questioning you about the decisions and action you have done in the last 3 years. Whatever that significant action. If that significant action, you didn't wrap it up in the proper way, or you didn't really finalize it in the way how it's supposed to be finalized, right? Or it's still hanging somehow. Let's say you started a law case or you are actually in divorce case or something like that, right? Which means during Saturn retrograde night now, it will start to wrap it up 100% and fully and totally, and you're not going to look back on it anymore, all right? So it also shows that Saturn here will start to question our emotion, our mental and emotional state when it comes to that particular action or aspect that we have done in the last 2 or 3 years from now. Which means, did you heal yourself? Did you really took care of yourself when you took that decision? Did you really detach from that decision? Are you really working on it properly to manifest it fully? So it's not only going to give you a result in terms of like physical things, but it might really bother us in terms of our mental and emotional state. All right. Who going to feel this mostly? This is going to be felt strongly by people who have moon or ascendant in Leo. Or if you have actually a strong heavy planets in Leo, which are active at this point, which means the planet that's sitting in Leo is active in terms of like Mahadasha, Antardasha, and Priantardasha. This is going to nudge you in some way. At some level, we can say 25, it can also nudge people who have Cancer placement, who have Capricorn placement to some level. I would say 25 to 30%. Maybe 25 to 30% in terms of like you might feel a bit emotional, you might feel a bit doubtful, you might feel a bit kind of like in the low energy, but not necessary to affect you 100% unless you are actually going through Mahadasha, Antardasha, and Antradasha of Saturn during this time. All right. So Saturn retrograding in Aquarius by itself, what does that mean? Aquarius is a house or is a sign that connect us to our wishes, our fulfillment, our professional network circle, our connections, and also the gains, that attainment that we get from our career or from our profession or from whatever we are actually cultivating and putting energy into it. Right now, since Saturn moves backward, it's asking and requesting us that perhaps there are some structure and foundation in these things need to change. For example, let's say you are wishing for something. Let's say you're wishing to attain something called A. You're wanting to attain A, but somehow right now, because Saturn is retrograding, you start to contemplate whether you want it or not, whether is it necessary or not. So right now, instead of you wanting A, you shift your energy. I start to work on B first, and then I will go back to A, or vice versa. It shows if you've been working with, I'm giving example, yeah. If you, let's say, for example, you've been working with a group of people, or you have certain type of connections or professional network circle that you know that they're not gonna serve you, you know that they are not going to help you, or perhaps a very bad kind of group of friends, Saturn retrograde right now might put you into trouble, so you can correct yourself, so you stop hanging out with this group of people, let's say, okay? Or let's say you start to kind of shift the professional network circle that you used to hang out with to another group, or you become more strategic during this period. Saturn here, it shows us what is actually our priorities that we need to work on in life. It shows us what exactly the meaning of essence of life. Aquarius is Bhavam of Pisces. That means it will let us indeed dig down into our psyche, our intuition, and maybe our psychological pattern, what exactly we need to learn, what exactly we need to remove, add, adjust in order for us to be able to manifest better life, right? Saturn retrograding in Aquarius, it's pretty heavy though. It's not that easy because Aquarius is a sign that's connected to Rahu. It's a karmic sign. It's not easy sign to have actually. Like if you notice people who have a strong Aquarius or a strong Scorpio, you kind of feel like it's very hard for you to describe them, or you describe yourself, because somehow nobody can relate to you, or nobody can really understand you in the deep and core, because again, they are connected to Rahu Ketu. All right. So Saturn right now, we're retrograding in the sign of Aquarius, right? As we said, which is connected to Rahu. Because Rahu right now, it's still in the sign of Aries, it still will kind of push us to do things that I want, like with the energy of I, me. there is still the energy of kind of like selfishness, I would say, or self-centered kind of energy. All right. But when Rahu moves to Pisces, which is will happen, I believe around October, late October. That means before Saturn actually moved that, it shows that some sort of cycle or ending will happen during this period. When Rahu moves to Pisces, it must give you some ending because it's a natural of the 12th house. Whatever, again, like whatever the theme that's going to show up during this period of time, I believe like this upcoming month, it will be more about a structure and really know what exactly I want, what exactly I supposed to do, and the time where I will really execute or be in the right direction that I supposed to do after that realization will be when Rahu moves to Pisces. This is a very interesting energy. However, this is the brief explanation about Saturn retrograde. I will start to explain deeper in the next video, which I'll explain the effect of Saturn retrograde for each sign. All right. So let us clear up this mess here. Let us move to the new moon energy we're going to have, I believe, on 20. It's 20 or 19, depending on where your location, right? Okay, now what we have here, we have a new moon in the sign of Gemini. And the dispositor, I believe it will be under nakshatra of Mrigashira, all right? The dispositor is Mercury sitting 12 from itself. What does that mean? So when we have a new moon, again coincide with Saturn here retrograding, right? The difference between them only 2-3 days, yeah? So usually it shows an energy of, okay, now we have to communicate or dig deep into the aspect that we have been thinking of in the last few weeks, because actually from now we are already sensing and feeling the Saturn retrograde, all right? Mirgashira has a theme of digging deep to the details to find the truth of the situation. So you feel like this is a period where people will start to really dig deep. Like, I really want to know the truth of this situation. I really want to know the fact of it, so I know what I'm supposed to do about it. It will be all has to do with emotion, which means in upcoming new moon, you will start to feel or sense mild Mercury retrograde, although Mercury is not retrograding, all right? You will find people very emotional in terms of expressing themselves, communicating their feelings. What do they want? What do they need? Confusion. Gemini is two-sided. That means we are kind of will be in the, will be asked, it will be requested for us to choose. Or even, let's say, for example, right now, we don't have many choices. Perhaps during this new moon, somehow you will start to have choices. Like, okay, I have to choose now. Which path do I need to go? Or there will be a sense of urgency actually to take some action and decision, or coming back to the past of whatever happened in the last, again, 2 weeks, for example, from now. All right, and communicate about it and talk about it. I would say if you have actually a strong air energy in your chart, that means Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, this can be pretty good period for you to evolve, to exploring new opportunities and getting new chances in life. Like literally there will be like chances and opportunities out of blue will come to you. But if you have, like, for example, water placement, which is active right now or strongly seen, all right, or fire, this can indicate some sort of mental and emotional turbulence. Usually, you know, how people say like a Gemini, it's always like about confusion and uncertainty. This can be good energy for air people and earth. but it might become really confusing for water and fire. All right, especially if you have like strong planets that is actually interacting with Saturn retrograde, interacting with current new moon. Can be a period where you have to back up a bit, observe from afar, do not react, do not do anything until the new moon passed, and then you start to do whatever you want to do, which means after or post 25th of June. All right. So anyways, I will talk deeper about the new moon energy. I will write a vlog about it this weekend. However, so that's it for today. I hope it was helpful, and wishing you to have wonderful and beautiful week. And again, about the Saturn retrograde, I will make a video about it for each sign. All right. So thank you. Bye.